Jim Schultz here for Calculated Risk, and don't forget, before we get started, the best ways that you can help us are by liking the video or subscribing to the channel. Both of those things really help us out a lot. So of all the Greeks that we trade every single day, so Delta, Theta, Vega, Gamma, Rho, for all my Rho scalpers that might be watching the show today, there is one that reigns supreme day in and day out without question, and that is Delta. And that's what I want to focus this video on. Why is Delta so dominant when it comes to the positions that you have on and the trades that you make? Why does it overshadow so much of your exposure to time or volatility or whatever else? Let's dive in, let's have a look, and hopefully this will all make a little bit of sense by the time we're done. So let's go. So when we talk about managing our options positions or putting on new options positions, like we are constantly leaning on the Greeks, so Delta, Theta, Vega, Gamma, what have you, because these are the things that are driving our P&L. I mean, specifically from a P&L standpoint, it's Delta, Theta, and Vega, like it's direction, time, and volatility. So we are always looking at and monitoring the Greeks. And so understanding the relative exposures and the relative magnitudes of one relative to the other can be really, really helpful in improving that analysis. And of course, all the Greeks matter. Like all the Greeks matter in their own right in terms of what they are showing you, in terms of the role that they play, whether it be direction, whether it be time, whether it be volatility, whether it be interest rates, whether it be whatever it is, all the Greeks play a distinct role, regardless of how big or small that role might be. What I want to focus on here today is why, when it comes to day by day looking at the markets, you're trying to figure out, why did my P&L do X? Why did my P&L do Y? It's almost always going to be a delta impact on a day by day, position by position level. When we look at the actual numbers behind the Greeks, I think it will become clear to you why that is the case. Okay, so a quick refresher on what Delta is. Delta, of course, is going to measure, when this underlying stock of the option contract moves by $1, how is my option price expected to move because of that stock price movement in the underlying instrument. So if a delta is 35 on a given position, then that means that for every $1 move in the underlying stock, the option P&L is expected to move by 35 cents. Now don't forget, this is only from the stock price movement. There are obviously other factors that are impacting and influencing option prices all the time, like volatility, like other factors. There are other things going on that are going to be moving and shifting around your P&L. Direction, time, and volatility are the primary ones, but there is also dividends. There is also interest rates. So there are other things that are happening outside of the vacuum that is just the underlying stock move and the option price impact. And of course, what Delta does is it gives you a measure of your directional exposure in that underlying stock. So it's going to tell you, hey, you're leaning long or you're leaning short. If I have some positive delta in IBM, then I'm long IBM. If I have some negative delta in AMD, then I am short AMD, which in this market, you are 100% cheating death if you're going to do that. But hey, you've got to do you, boo. And so it's 100% your call at the end of the day. But it's going to show you what directional bias you're going to have in the marketplace based on the delta in that position. Positive, of course, is long, and negative, of course, is short. And of course, if your Vega were 10, for example, that would tell me that for every 1 point change in implied volatility, then I can expect the option price to move by 10 cents. And so it has a similar effect to all the other Greeks in that it's kind of measuring things on okay, when this one thing moves, what is the impact going to be on the options price? Delta measures when the underlying stock moves. Theta measures when the calendar moves and time ticks away. And then Vega measures when implied volatility moves. So a Vega of 10 is 10 cents for every 1 point in implied volatility. A Vega of 7 would be 7 cents for every 1 point move in implied volatility, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's put all this into action in a real-time example. This is based on May 11th, 2026. So Netflix is right around $85 a share. If I went into the June cycle with 38 days to go, and I went to sell a 35 delta put, that position would have a Theta of 4 and a Vega of 9. So look at the top line metrics. Delta, 35. Theta, 4. Vega, 9. So for every $1 move in Netflix, my P&L, the option price, is expected to change by 35 cents. But the whole day in Theta is only worth 4 cents. And every 1 point move in implied volatility in IV is only 9 cents. And so certainly Netflix's IV can move by multiple points. That happens all the time. But when it comes to Netflix's actual stock price moving by $1, $2, $3, Delta is going to be leading the charge with this position on a daily basis inside the day to try to figure out how is my P&L changing, why is it changing, it's almost always going to be because delta is indeed the driving force. On a position by position level, delta is almost always going to be the thing that is going to be moving your position's P&L the most and the most meaningfully day in and day out. But at the portfolio level, this is where you now have a collection of positions. You have 5 positions, you have 10 positions, you have 20 positions, what have you. That is not necessarily the case. And this is because in the aggregate, like at that portfolio level, you may have some bullish positions, but you may have some bearish positions. Like you might be long McDonald's, you might be long Procter & Gamble, but then you're short Tesla or you're short Amazon or what have you. And so while a couple of positions might be building up positive delta, a couple more positions might be building up negative delta. And you can kind of finely tune wherever you want your overall portfolio delta metrics to rest. But all along the way, you're still building up short premium. All along the way, you're primarily selling options to build up that positive theta. All along the way, you're primarily selling options to build up that negative Vega to position your whole portfolio to benefit from volatility contraction. So while the directional exposure can kind of be canceled out, so to speak, from one position to the next in the overall portfolio, that is not necessarily the case when you look at overall theta and overall Vega. So while delta is going to be the driving force on a position by position level, and you're kind of at the mercy of the directional move of the underlying stock on a day by day basis, that is not the case at the portfolio level. You can essentially be as directional as you want to be. If you want to be heavily directional and take your shot, you can do that. If you want to be less directional and not necessarily take your shot and lean more on the non-directional elements in the marketplace, like Theta, like Vega at the portfolio level, you can do that too and essentially mitigate your overall directional exposure and place it to wherever you want to place it. Be a little bit bullish, be a little bit bearish, be a lot bullish, be a lot bearish, be pretty delta neutral. Like all of these things are under your control. And ultimately, it's essentially going to be your decision in the aggregate at the portfolio level with how much of an impact, how big of a role do you want delta to play. So we use all the Greeks every single day. Delta, theta, vega, gamma, even my row people. I love you guys. You guys know that I love you guys. But when you're looking at your P&L on a daily basis and you're trying to figure out, okay, what is causing the biggest move? What is causing the most damage? What is causing the most, greatness in my portfolio, whatever it might be? It's almost always going to be delta. It's almost always going to be that directional exposure at the position level. And so that's why it's so important to know your delta and to manage your delta. That's why that is the metric that we are all looking at Tasty almost every single day. When we open up our portfolios, that's the first thing we're looking at. We want to see, what is my delta at the position level? What is my delta at the portfolio level? Is it where I want it to be? And if it's not, then I need to make a change. I need to make an adjustment because delta is the gas pedal. It's the gas pedal and the brake. It's the thing that's going to largely determine how fast or how slow you are moving, and it's what could potentially do the most damage on a daily basis. And so hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.